Soludo condemns attack on Senator Uba, commiserated families of his dead aides. Anambra Education Commissioner Chuma Ude tasked teachers to be diligent in their profession. Court reschedules hearing in FG suit against ASU strike. Good morning. Welcome to the news at 7 on ABS television. My name is Priska Wonko. Details of the news. Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR, has condemned in strong terms the attack by yet to be identified gunmen on Dr. Patrick Ifeanyuba's convoy. The senator representing Anambra South Senatorial Zone yesterday evening. A release by the press secretary to the governor, Christian Aburime, says that Sunday evening, Dr. Ifeanyuba narrowly escaped bullets of some gun-wielding gunmen who attacked his convoy at Enugu Road in Njikoka local government area of Anambra State. While condemning the attack, Governor Soludo said government is fully determined to wipe out every act of criminality in the state. He reiterated that this is the last-ditch effort of a sinking boat by those criminal elements. He assured that all security agencies are now on full alert to fish out the perpetrators of this heinous attack, and they will be made to face the full wrath of the law. Governor commiserated to Dr. Ifeanyuba and families of his aides who lost their lives, as well as the State Commissioner of Police for the policemen who also lost their lives. The Anambra State Library Board has commemorated the annual Suicide Prevention Day with the aim of educating, publicizing and sensitizing the public on the need to say no to suicide or any form of depression and low self-esteem. The event, which took place at the Kenneth D.K. Central E-Library, Oka, was attended by the Anambra State Commissioner for Information, Sapol Musu, the Director of the State Library Board, Dr. Nkechi Udeze, keynote speakers, among others. Correspondent Blessing Dennis has the details.
World Suicide Prevention Day 2022 was themed Creating Hope Through Action, as a reminder that there is an alternative to suicide and aims to inspire confidence and light in people. It also highlights the importance of setting suicide prevention as a priority public health agenda by countries, particularly where access to mental health services and availability of evidence-based interventions are already low. Addressing the gathering, Sanwo-Onisu said that the day is set aside to reduce stigma and raise awareness among organizations, governments and the public, with a singular message that suicide can be prevented. The commissioner urged family members, friends, co-workers, community members, educators, religious leaders, healthcare professionals, political officials, as well as government at all levels to take action in order to prevent suicide.
That is what World Health Organization is saying in association with this association of this group, that prevents suicide. They are saying that it's not an option. Killing yourself is not an option. Suicide is not an option. And this is why they have set today aside, globally, so that people will be sensitized on this matter, so that they will know that killing themselves is not an option. And what did they say? They said we should create hope through action.
The keynote speaker at the event, Dr. Kasimian Nemeka, said that the suicide is a mental illness which cannot be cured, but it is preventable, adding that the overall objective of the World Suicide Prevention Day is to raise awareness of mental health issues, depression, spiritual manipulation, personal rejection, peer pressure groups, and what needs to be done to make the prevention of suicide a reality for people worldwide.
The simplest way to prevent suicide is by telling yourself the truth. You can lie to any person, but don't lie to yourself. How many of us tell ourselves the truth? How many of us accept us for who and what we are? How many of us are ready to stop, take 2 steps backward and tell ourselves, I'm the father long man. I'm not going this far. Suicide is not the end.
In an interview with the ABS, the director of Library Board, Dr. Nkechi Udeze, said that the day focuses on creating awareness on suicide worldwide, as the problem is within the environment, and appealed for the government to provide capacity building for healthcare providers and other relevant actors, facilitate open discussion on mental health issues at home, schools, workplace, among others.
Government should stop what they are doing with lecturers for undergraduates. Okay. Even lecturers in the school, they have to be honest in what they are doing. Their actions are also frustrating students. They have to change the way they handle students. Then parents, they have to mind the kind of words they use when talking to their children. Husbands as well. I said it before. They have to mind the way they talk to people.
The drama presentation by students climaxed the event. In Oka, I am Blessing Dennis reporting for ABS News.
Post-Primary School Service Commission has held a 5-day 2022 retreat for principals of secondary schools in the state. The event, which has a theme, Principal Leadership Roles and Student Education, was held at the Madonna Renewal Center, Mo. Education correspondent Theophilus Ugoha has the details.
Opening remarks, Commissioner for Education Professor Ngozi Chumaude commended the principals for holding forth amidst challenges and difficulties, saying teaching profession, being a noble and dignified service, should be rendered with pride and diligence, especially now that e-learning is the best international practice form of teaching.
I bring the goodwill of Mr. Governor, the chief servant of Anambra State, who, as I earlier said, holds education very dear, very close to his heart. And I also want to enjoin you to reciprocate this love and hold forth wherever you are. I want you to know that Mr. Governor is equally a teacher. And he, being a seasoned teacher, understands the pangs, the strife, the pains of teaching. So you are not alone. Know that this administration is for you.
In a welcome address, the Executive Secretary, Post-Primary School Service Commission, PPSSC, Mrs. Ndidi Oramus, said the annual retreat is compulsory for all the school principals in the state and is a platform to address various problems discovered during the Commission monitoring and supervision exercise, particularly in the last 1 year after previous retreat. She, however, emphasized that after the retreat, each principal will have no reason to fail in ensuring that teachers and students in all public and public mission secondary schools in the state will be responsible to manage a situation, a task, a team, or entire organization effectively.
After this retreat, each and every one of the participants will have no reason to fail in ensuring that our teachers and students in all public and public mission secondary schools in the state will be responsible to manage a situation, a team, or an entire organization ethically and effectively, having acquired skills to influence and guide their team in a shared strategy.
In a remark, the Anambra State House of Assembly Chairman Committee on Basic Education, Honorable Ejike Okechukwu, said it is a great privilege to have a governor who has great passion for teachers and a commissioner for education who is a teacher par excellence, and therefore urged the principals to take their roles in the education sector responsibly.
I won't stop this my address without, first of all, encouraging you people, thanking you, eulogizing you, and a popo wall on the Kuzi in the believe Rosemia. I am Kuzi Kusulina and the practice case area no one. I am already in the common.
The 5-day retreat has sub-teams which includes public service rules, staff motivation and control, alternative source of legitimate income generation in schools, WAEC, NECO, SSCE, NAPTEB result analysis in Anambra State schools, for 2020-2021 session and revenue collection, remittance and principal and bursars relationship in PPSSC. From North, Theophilus Okoha reporting for ABS News.
Adequate power supply for industrial operations and favorable cost of production have been identified as factors that will help to achieve the standard in locally made products. The head of the Department Civil Engineering, Nambi Azikiwe University, Awka, Associate Professor Celestine Ezeago stated this in his paper titled The Role of Standards in Nation Industrialization, delivered at a one-day stakeholders interactive forum organized by Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, in Awka, the Anambra State capital. Correspondent Joseph Ibocha was there and brought back this report.
The forum, which drew participants from the private sector and the media, offered opportunity to discuss challenges being faced in building confidence and value in locally made products being imported into the country, and ended with a call on relevant stakeholders to join effort with SON towards achieving cooperation of all manufacturers, consumers, service providers, and government at all levels in achieving desired results. Associate Professor Ezeago, an engineer, who noted that factors of production such as land, labor, and material in an unfavorable environment like Nigeria give rise to substandard products, say the position of a country on industrialization is as important as standard is in industrialization, regretting that available records show that Nigeria is not among list of 10 industrialized nations, while advising that SON encompasses all other relevant bodies like NAFDAC by enacting broader laws that will harmonize their operations. The DON called on importers, exporters, and manufacturers to be guided by conscience in their operations to ensure value in locally made products and those being imported into Nigeria.
We find out that Standard Organization, right from inception, has an Act 54 of 1971, which handicapped it from encompassing the core mandate, ensuring quality goods and services. Industrialization has a solid base, which is a standard, and that standard will be based on goods and services, and can neither be based only on goods without service component being there.
Contributing, the National Vice President, Nigeria Association of Chamber of Commerce, President, Southeast Chamber of Commerce, and Managing Director of Ngo Bros and Company Nigeria Limited, Mr. Humphrey Gonade, who explained that despite unfavorable economic environment and challenge of importing substandard products, 80% of Nigerian manufacturers still produce quality products, expressed concern that some buyers prefer cheaper and substandard products instead. He commended SON for efforts towards addressing influx of standard products in Nigeria, calling for its sustenance.
So he had the bandibani wonye jizu ihe ya chọọ nke ọnọdụ ya gbagoneta anwụ obere nya hapụ nke kalanye ọnụ mana ihe anyị na-achọ nke nya ọka anya ọnụ anyị achọ nke ọnọdụ ya gbagotala bụ na inwe ike ndị na-ega nwere akwa maatụ iji ezu ofu sheet 1,000 naira. Next 2 years, it's why she the year. Onye ọzọ eje zụọ nke ọya we na-etinye, onye ọzọ eje zụọ nke 500 naira, otinye na mmiri na-achịpụta ife o ji ewela akwa agwụna. Ọba họlụ ụlọ ka mma ije zụ nke 1,000 naira, ịsụọ ya iyikwa.
In Awka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
Awka community in Anambra State has commended Professor Chukwuma Soludo for protecting and preserving Awka community native laws, customs and tradition, and upholding the rule of law and restoring order and sanctity in the traditional affairs of Awka and other communities in the state. Again, Joseph Ibocha takes the story from here.
In a joint press conference on behalf of Awka Development Union Nigeria, the Ezozo in Council and other progressive indigenes, the community commended the decisions and actions of the governor to nip in the bud the actions of an impostor whom they said had attempted for years without success to usurp the traditional stool of the community, adding that the action of the impostor has remained a thorn in the flesh to the good and peaceful people of the community and had in no small measure painted an untrue image of customs and traditions of the community.
On hold because of the rise of Awka. On another onye ọkụ ọbụla nọ na bịa eri eji bieli onwe ya onye okwu mana nke mmezie ka celebration a sị na nke arụnwa nwa na anyị ga-etinye na kọma maka anyị luzu president general anyị luzu onye ọkaiwu Nnamdi Okafọ, anyị luzu injinia Imanweke, anyị luzu Lieutenant General Mmadụ Ebo, ndudu ele agara abacha n'ime ana si na nna eme emume na anyị kpagharịrị ya arụ ọzọ ebezina o.
In a press statement signed by the traditional ruler of the community, Obi Gibson Nwosu, Traditional Prime Minister of Awka, Chief Ben Okoye, President General of Awka Development Union Nigeria, Barrister Kana Ayonwobu, Secretary Sir Alex Nwachukwu, the community commended timely and bold intervention of the governor, adding that the good-spirited actions have restored hope in the minds of Awka indigenes, giving strength to the young and old of the community to continue to push for the development of the community. They declared that Anambra is indeed in safe hands, assuring support of members of Awka community for the success of the Soludo administration in the state, advising those fomenting trouble in the community to have a rethink. Sirs Alex and Mike Onwaso, on behalf of Ndiozo Awka, said peace in Awka community is necessary for sustainable development.
We've been living in crisis, sort of. Mana kita, almost a good Chineke nudo abatanoka. Through this intervention. So now, Usita Demma or the Babu.
In Awka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
National Industrial Court in Abuja has rescheduled hearing for September 16 in a suit by the federal government FG against the ongoing strike by the Academy Staff Union of Universities ASU. Justice Hammond declined to application for joinder filed by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, and rejected his lawyer's request for the consolidation of the case with an earlier one filed by the group. At the mention of the case, SERAP's lawyer, Ebun Olu Adeborowa, said his client seeks to be made a party in the suit with the possibility of having it consolidated with one the group earlier filed. Adeborowa said Sarah filed a similar suit seeking, among others, to compel the federal government to honor its 2009 agreement to the striking lecturers. He added, we filed a similar suit on 8 September asking the court to compel the federal government to honor an agreement it willingly entered into with ASU. Adeborowa said his client's request to be made a party to the suit was to forestall duplicity of outcomes concerning the industrial dispute. Lawyer to the federal government, Tijani Ghazali San, raised objection to SERAP's request for the consolidation of both cases. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it injected $7.6 billion into the economy in 5 months through foreign exchange sales to authorized dealers. The Apex Bank, which said this in its monthly economic report for May 2022, explained that it intervened in the FX market to stabilize the value of the naira with $1.65 billion and $1.39 billion in January and February, respectively. The Apex Bank added that it pumped $1.860 billion in March, $1.56 billion in April, and $1.18 billion in May 2022. Despite these interventions, the naira depreciated 0.7% to 415 naira a dollar in the official market within the period. Spain's Carlos Alcaraz has won his first Grand Slam title and become the youngest male tennis player to secure the world #1 ranking. The 19-year-old beat Norway's Casper Ruud 6-4, 2-6, 7-6, 6-3 in the final of the US Open. Alcaraz is the youngest Grand Slam men's champion since Rafael Nadal at the 2005 French Open and the youngest US Open champion since Pete Sampras in 1990. He then climbed past photographers and into the stands to celebrate in his box with his team. Alcaraz returned fans during the 2-week tournament in New York with his acrobatic play, replaced Russian Daniil Medvedev at the top of the rankings. He is the youngest world number one since the ATP rankings began in 1973, breaking the mark set by Leighton Hewitt, who was 20 when he became number one in 2001. Remember that you can follow news and program on ABS in many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television Awka. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Television Awka and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website. It's www.absradiotv.com. To end the news at 7, let's take the recap of the main points. Governor Soludo has condemned the attack on Senator Uba, commiserated families of his dead aides. Anambra Education Commissioner Chuma Ode has tasked teachers to be diligent in their profession. Court reshadows hearing in FG's suit against ASU strike. Here is the special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has called for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's it. So the news at 7 right here on ABS Television. Thanks for watching. My name is Priska Wanko. Good morning.
This is ABS, Heartbeat of the East.